Can creativity be forced? That is the question that's on my mind today, and I'll tell you why. Because a couple of days ago, I finished rewriting one of my old songs. It's a song that I had finished, I had recorded it, but I never released it in the end. And there are a couple of reasons for that. First, the production was okay, but nothing special. Second of all, my singing wasn't good. And the third and main reason was that I was not happy with the lyrics. So the core musical idea was great. I was really happy with the riffs in that. I thought they were cool. And the basic idea of the lyrics was interesting, but I hadn't quite found the right angle to take on it. And so that manifested in lyrics that I just wasn't really happy with. Anyway, as I'm sure is the same with songwriters out there or any other creative person, you have ideas and projects that you work on and that you will set aside for a while. They don't quite turn out the way you want, or you're not sure what to do with them, and so you put them aside, or they go into your library of ideas, but you return to them periodically. Anyway, as is over the years, I have this document where I add ideas, lyrical ideas, words, impressions, thoughts, anything that I think fits with this song idea. And I would, every once in a while I would look at it, and I'd sit there with my guitar, and I'd play the riffs. And for some reason, a couple of nights ago, it was about midnight, and between midnight and maybe 12:30 or 1:45, it all came out, and I ended up writing 2 verses and the final version of a chorus. And it's a good feeling, because whenever I want to write a song again, I always feel like, can I do it again? Was I lucky all the other times? Do I know what I'm doing? Can I, have I lost it? But this one is coming out quite good, so I'm happy with that. But anyway, it got me thinking about how in the musician world, in the songwriting world, there's this idea that you need to be writing every day, and you need to finish a song a week or finish a song a day, something like that. And I think that comes from the general grind culture that seems to be everywhere, whether it's in business. I'm sure it's in other artistic fields as well, where you have to be explicitly doing the thing in a conscious way as much as you can. And if you're not doing that, then you're not being properly productive. And that's something that I think about, should I be sitting there really, like, whether it's with a pen and paper and a notepad, and the guitar, or in a document, should I be consciously trying to write all the time? Or is it okay to mess around, as it were? Basically, could I have rewritten this song the night before, or a week ago, or a month ago, or a year ago, if I had just sat down to do it? Or was all that time, I think the word is ruminate, it's when you have ideas processing in the back of your mind, was all of that time necessary to lead up to that moment where it would come out? I think a lot of people have the experience of having good ideas in the shower, or when they're going for a walk. And while I can, on the one hand, I'm not the person that is sitting down every day consciously writing new songs, and I definitely don't finish a song a week. I can say that there's always creativity going on. I'm always humming to myself. I'm always singing to myself. My musical ideas are in my head while and I'm trying to come up with new words and new lyrics, and I'm monitoring my thoughts, and I'm monitoring what I say, and I'm monitoring what other people say, overheard conversations. So all of this stuff is happening all the time in my awake time, and I'm sure in my dream time at night as well, right? But to an outsider, that would you wouldn't say, okay, that's productive creative work. But it is happening. It's happening all the time. And I credit, in my opinion, when I sat down a couple of days ago, a couple of nights ago, to do that, I think what came out was a manifestation of what's been happening all along over the years. It's been in the back of my mind. And there's proof in that, right? Because I have the document where I've collected all these ideas and snippets of lyrics and words. So it's not just something. There is something tangible, as it were, that shows that I was thinking about these things. But it's a contrast because, as I said, there's a lot of grind culture in the arts, in creativity, where it's like you have to constantly be doing the thing explicitly, and so I see these people say, right, I'm gonna finish a song a week or every day. Now I'm happy for people to do that, and I'm not knocking it. Although on the whole, I would say, I'm not super impressed by the results of that. The people who espouse that philosophy, it seems to be a case of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, which is, that is an option. I'm not saying that's wrong. It's a thing to do, and maybe I will go through a phase of doing that. But when I think about the songwriters that I admire, when I read their interviews or watched their interviews and stuff like that, their process wasn't like that. Whether it's, the Beatles or the Beach Boys or anything like the really great songwriters. Yeah, it was their full-time job to be a musician, so they were in a sense making music all the time. But from what I've read and heard and seen, is that they would have ideas and they would really work at them to make them as good as they could be. Whereas the philosophy, the grind philosophy that I see a lot of the times is just finish the things and just make lots of finished things and then choose the best finished things. Whereas I'm much more of a, be creative and play around and generate ideas, but then when you have the ideas, you really work at them until they are as good as they can be, rather than finish it in the quickest, most efficient way possible and move on to the next thing. But that's just my way of doing things, and maybe I could be more productive and finish more than a couple of songs every year, right? But like I said, I don't know, like I'm not terribly impressed by the people that do that like high volume output. But maybe that's a cope from my point of view. But who knows, maybe in the future I will take that approach. I think it would be interesting to do that, just to like finish lots of things quickly and see how that goes. But for now, I still have some ideas that are being processed in the back of my mind, and that's plenty for me to be working on at the moment. Anyway, yeah, those are my thoughts. So can you force it? Could I have forced that finished song earlier, the day before, the week before, a month before? Or was that the right time for it all to come out because of all the creative background pottering around that I had been doing all that time? Let me know what you think.